Hey, welcome to Texas Yoga Mama. My name is Jenny, and I created this yoga flow for just stretching and lengthening the muscles. So it is for anyone who might be sore from working out, who might be wanting to gain a little more flexibility. Maybe you're new to stretching, or you are recovering from an injury. This is for you. It is just going to be based on finding length in all of our muscles. It's a whole body stretch, so we're going to hit on everything a little bit. So I'm going to have all my props. I'm going to have a blanket, I'm going to have a strap, and I'm going to have blocks just in case I want them. You're welcome to, if you have a bolster or a pillow, you want to bring that over. Have everything kind of near you. That way it's easy to access, and then you can just continue to flow and find your groove. And then remember that we're just going to be non-judgmental about side-to-side differences, about where we are today versus where we were yesterday or 5 years ago. Let's just be present with what we have today. You've already made it to your mat. You're already winning. So there's that. Okay, so if you have anything underneath your seat, go ahead and take it out. Also, if you like to play music, throw on some Spotify, throw on something that fills your soul, and then turn up the volume just shy of hearing my voice, and just let yourself feel the music if you're listening to it, feel the stretch in your body, and just feel good and give yourself that moment to do all those things. All right, coming to the center of your mat, onto your knees. We're going to start on our knees. So now, starters, if your knees give you any trouble, feel free to grab a blanket and throw it between your calves and your thighs and give yourself a little boost, or you can put a block right under your sit bones and sit on it so you can ease that pain, because we're going to be on our knees for a little bit while we stretch. So find your comfort. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes and just breathe. We have the sounds of the outside going on here. They will probably make it into the audio. If you're not listening to music, you might hear some construction, and that's just life. Start to check in with your breath. Just notice it, follow it in the body and out the body. There's those nature sounds, those outside sounds. And one of my favorite Texas sounds is a cicada. Start to increase the breath and drop your chin down. We're going to start with our neck. Let the weight of your head just stretch the back of your neck. Start to slowly roll your ear over to your shoulder. Take your time whenever you feel a spot in your neck. Take your time to really explore that space. This is all for you. So we're going to roll the ear to the shoulder and then the chin to the sky. You're going to get into that back side part of your neck, and then chin to the shoulder. And then chin to the sky. Oh, and then roll it back into the front, chin to chest, and then explore the other side. Again, stopping where there's any like tweak or anything. And just find the space where it feels good. So we're not pushing it. We're not taking it to a spot of like pinching or withdrawing. We just want it to feel good. We want to feel all that long stretch. Now take your palms, face them to the front of your mat. Reach your fingertips towards the ground. And roll your neck one more time and feel that extra length with your shoulders drawing down and away. All around your neck. And then find a neutral with your head. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Look up at the sky. Maybe get a little bit of a back bend. And then interlace your fingers. Turn your palms up towards the sky. And then you're going to draw your palms towards the front of your mat, curving your spine, tucking your chin. We're moving into like a kneeling cat and cow. Get a big rounded spine here. Maybe you tuck your tailbone so much that you start to feel a stretch along your quadriceps. On an inhale, bring the backs of your palms up towards the sky. Heart opens, maybe chin goes up to the sky. Shoulders stay down. Now, if you have any pinch in your shoulders, make sure that you keep your arms in front of your ears and they don't go back behind your ears, and you can keep a bend in your elbows. On an exhale, go ahead and round that spine. Tuck your chin. Tuck your tailbone. Reach your palms away from you. Broaden between your shoulder blades. Inhale, reach them up. Go through that on your own, following your own breath. Inhaling up, exhaling, rounding. And you're welcome to make circles through any of this, whatever you want to do, whatever feels good. And then come to a neutral spot. Release your fingers. Maybe wiggle your fingers out. Roll your wrists. Bring them back down to the ground. You're going to reach your fingertips for the ground. Start to lean over to your left side and start to crawl your fingertips out. Now I want you to put your attention into this right hip. Root the right hip down as you reach the right arm up and over. So the more you root down that hip and reach over, the more you're going to get that full side body stretch. You can start to walk those fingertips out. Now imagine wrapping this tricep underneath. So you're wrapping it underneath. So when you can bend your elbow, it bends towards your body. And then you look up, rotating those right ribs open towards the sky, your heart opening towards the sky. So we can find an additional, even more like complex, I guess is the word I'm looking for, stretch. We can open our chest and then we can close it and get that stretch all along the side body, all along your intercostal muscles and your obliques. Keeping that hip rooted, rolling the right shoulder closed, and then rolling the heart to the sky. And then find a neutral. Inhale, sweeping all the way up, dropping the right hand, towards the ground. Walking your fingers out, rooting this left hip, and then reaching up and over, finding that stretch all along the side body, all these intercostals and the obliques and all these muscles in the side of the body, even through the armpit, the tricep, wrapping and bending that right elbow, reaching your fingertips away, shoulders still drawing away from your ears. So you want to keep away from this crunched shoulder to ear feeling and find that space. Inhale, reaching up. Let's just do that one more time to the left side, bending that elbow in, rooting that right hip. Inhale, reaching up. And then looking up. Inhale. And let your hands come palm to palm at your heart. Press your hands together. Lift your heart into your hands. Let's just find some length in our spine. So really, with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine your crown of your head reaching for the sky and your tailbone reaching for the ground. So we're imagining you're going to feel the elongation. You're going to feel a slight tuck in your core, your lower abdominals draw in. Your heart might lift a little. And you're going to find that space just by imagining that reach and that root. The head reaches, the tailbone roots. Shoulders drawing down, heart drawing up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, open your eyes. Release your palms. We're going to place our palms behind our feet. Rolling your shoulders back, lifting your heart. Now this is where you may want blocks or books or whatever you want to use. Put them right behind. We're just going to get a little bit of a quad stretch. We're not going all the way into a hero's pose, but you can move your heels to the outside of your hip bones. So I am just going to show you real quick. So it's the difference between here and here. See, I have like a little space to sit. Now this totally depends on your knee comfort. So pay attention to your knees. If at any point anything hurts your knees, definitely don't do that. Keep your feet together. You might feel a little more comfort. You'll still get a quad stretch, so we're all good. But if you're comfortable bringing your heels apart just a little bit to place your sit bones in between there, you can get a little more space. So press into the ground or into your blocks. Lift your heart. Lift your hips just a little bit. We're just going into a little bit of a quad stretch. Bending our elbows, perhaps bending into them. Maybe you get back on the forearms. Whatever works for you. Lift your chin. Breathe. Feel the stretch. Check in with tension. Are you holding tension in your jaw? Can you let it go? You can breathe out your mouth. If you need to let that go, wiggle your jaw around. carefully and slowly walk your hands back up, pulling yourself out of that hero's pose. If you have blocks back there, you can set them aside. And then we're going to go onto our hands and knees, facing the front of our mat. We're going to move into a traditional cat and cow. So we're going to sink the belly, lift the chin, tuck the toes under, and get a little stretch in the back of the feet all at the same time. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, drop the head, round the spine. Empty out the lungs. Inhale, filling up the lungs, arching the back, lifting the chin. Exhale, empty the lungs. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. On your next inhale, find a neutral. You can roll it around and get a little extra side twists, side stretches out of this. All right, now I want you to take your left hand and I want you to reach it out to the side. I'm going to face you just so you can see me. Then we're going to thread it under, placing our left shoulder on the ground. And we're just going to tent our right fingertips and use those right fingertips to press the ground away, drawing that right shoulder back, getting more of a stretch. You can stay here. If you would like to go ahead and thread your arm all the way back and around to your left thigh, you're welcome to do that. But you can still get a lovely and very deep stretch just using these fingertips. Check in and make sure that your hips stay over your knees. So we don't want to start sinking back into a child's pose. We want to keep that 90-degree angle. Go ahead and flatten that right hand. Unwind your left hand out to the side. Lower your left hand. Now we're going to take our right hand out to the side. Thread that under, placing the right shoulder on the ground. Coming into that twist, then using your left fingertips to press the ground away and open up that chest, rolling the left shoulder back. Breathing into that. Think of each exhale as an opportunity to let go of tension. The exhale takes the tension right out. That air coming out of your body can take the tension with it. So if there's squeezing or if there's tension anywhere, think of that as being picked up by the inhale and carried out by the exhale. Coming back to center. We're going to move into a puppy pose. So we're going to lower down onto our forearms. This is we're going to start from here. We're going to start to lower our chest down to the ground. So if you want to grab a pillow, blanket, bolster, you can place that underneath your chest. Our hips are still staying over our knees, just like we just did in that threaded tabletop. And we're going to start to bring your chest down to the ground. You can wiggle your hands out and away from you. And you can either put your forehead to the ground here, or you can look forward and put your chin to the ground. This is perfectly very, very deep stretch. If you know that you can go farther into this, you're welcome to extend your back legs and tuck your toes under. So what that looks like, if you've done this before, is you're extending those back legs while your chest is on the ground, with or without the blanket. Stay there for 2 more breaths. Just breathing into it, recognizing that good, deep, juicy stretch in your body and finding a place of ease and comfort in that deep stretch. And remember, if you get to a place where you can't take a deep breath, pull back. That's not the practice we've got going on today. We're trying to get a good stretch out of it, but we're not trying to take it so far. We're just trying to listen to our bodies and give it a little extra attention. All right, so we're going to go ahead from here. We're going to bring our hips all the way down to the ground. We're moving into Sphinx pose, so we're finding a different right angle this time, a different 90-degree angle. Elbow, under, shoulder, and arms, forearms flat. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're taking these fingertips. I'm trying to get where you can see my fingertips. And we're pressing the fingertips into the ground, and we're pulling the ground towards us. Imagine pulling the ground. What's going to happen is your back of your body is going to draw forward. Your heart's going to draw forward. Now, as you do that, I want you to imagine your shoulder blades coming down your spine, right? And maybe together a little bit. So we're pressing. You're going to feel that heart pull forward. You're going to feel a big stretch in your thoracic upper spine. Your chin stays parallel with the ground. You don't need to look up. Breathe here. If you'd like to, you can extend your arms, keeping your palms right where they are, and get an even deeper stretch here. And if it feels good to you to look up and you want to look up, you're welcome to. You're also welcome to get a little extra neck stretch here and roll your neck around. Lowering your elbows back down if you extended them. We're going to press all the way up to our hands and knees and all the way back into downward facing dog. Tucking your toes, lifting your hips. And getting into the backs of our legs now. Go ahead and walk your dog. Pedal it out. Bend one knee, bend the other. Our feet stay on the ground. Our toes stay on the ground. We're just getting into each leg, the back of each leg. After a couple of pedals and walks, go ahead and find a downward dog without any movement. Now I want you to imagine when you inhale, the energy coming up your arms, up your spine, straight for your tailbone and your hips reaching for the sky. Inhale, exhale, and then the exhale goes down the backs of your legs and roots down through your heels, and your heels perhaps sink another 1/4 of an inch closer to the ground. Inhale comes up your arms, up your spine, hips reach for the sky. Exhale, down the backs of your legs. Do that for a couple breaths. Check in with your jaw and your temples, your neck. Make sure that you're releasing any tension or squeezing with each exhale. All right, now I want you to take your left foot and cross it over your right, the back of your right ankle. Plant your left foot. Then I want you to tent your left fingertips and sink your right hips out to the side. So you're going to be getting a long stretch down the left side of your body. Breathe here. This left heel is rooted. Your right knee is bent. And then return to center. Downward facing dog. Right foot comes over the left ankle, planting the right foot, bending the left knee, tenting the right fingertips, sinking your left heels out to the side, stretching all along the left side of the body. Coming back to center. Lowering your knees, sitting back into child's pose, hips on heels, forehead on the ground. You can have your knees together or apart at this point, whatever pleases your body at this moment. All right, back up to your hands and knees, downward facing dog. We're going to move into our flow. So inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, left leg steps in between your hands. We're going to extend our leg, moving straight into a triangle pose, extending our front leg. Left hand comes to the inside of your left ankle or shin and opening your body up. Right hand goes to the sky. So this left hip is drawing back. Looking up, inhale. Reaching up, reverse your triangle, getting that side body stretch all along the left side. And now we're going to move all the way down into revolved dragonfly. So that means we're moving down. Right hand comes next to left foot. Left hand reaches for the sky. Left shoulder reaches back. Now stay here for a second. And I want you in this pose to think of this bent knee drawing towards your midline while your straight leg is lifting your thigh up to the sky. Feel that stretch. Imagine your heel of your back leg and your knee of your front leg reaching away from each other. Feel that length. Feel it along your spine with your head reaching away from your body. Okay. From this dragonfly, we're going to lower the back knee, reaching up into a low lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, extending the front leg, planting the hands. Now here's where you can use a block if you want. 2 blocks, as a matter of fact. So you can place them right in between, right kind of in front of your knee. And you might slide them with you when you move into your low lunge. pressing in, lifting your heart, sliding your hips back, extending your front leg. Inhale, sinking your hips forward, feeling that stretch along that right front hip flexor. Shoulders stay down, heart lifts up. Exhale, extending the front leg. Now, as you extend that front leg, I want you to think of this hip and this extended leg drawing back. It's drawing back in a way. You're going to feel that extra stretch as soon as you pull that hip back. And then you have the option to flex these toes, bring them back towards your face, and even get an even deeper stretch. You're going to feel it when you flex those feet. You can do whatever you want with your foot. You can point it or flex it, or you can do both and move throughout that. All right. We've done enough of that. Plant your hands on either side of your foot. Move your blocks out of the way. Tuck your back toe. We're moving all the way up and facing the side of our mat. Toes are going to face out. We're going to put our hands on our hips. We're going to hinge at our hips, leaning forward into a wide leg forward fold. All right. So if you want your blocks here, you can put your blocks in front of you. You can use your fingertips, but go ahead and bend into one knee and then the other. Just get a little bit of extra. Drop the crown of your head to the ground. Let go of any tension in your neck. Your neck is not involved in this. It's not invited to this party. All right, and then find some stillness. You can hold on to the outside of your ankles if you'd like. You can walk your hands in between and behind you, in between your legs and behind you, or you can just plant them down underneath your head. And just breathe. Allow your body just to be a heavy weight. On an inhale, we're reaching our arms out and all the way up, hinging at our waist all the way up to the top. Bring your palms together again and bring them to your heart. All right, turn your left toes in. We're moving into triangle to the back of the mat. Right toes turn out towards the back of the mat. Arms reach away. Hips sink back. Reach your right arm out and past over your right leg, rotating out. Triangle. Your left ribs are rolling away from your body and towards the back, towards the sky. Your heart is opening up. Inhale, coming all the way up, reverse triangle. My favorite is the big cartwheel all the way down to the dragonfly twist, bending that front leg. Left hand comes next to right foot. Right hand reaches for the sky. All right, remember those things I talked about earlier? About the knee drawing towards the chest, and then the knee and the heel reaching away from each other, finding that length, this back thigh. Remember that back thigh pressing up towards the sky? You're going to feel much more stretch when you start to do that. Feel those long stretches. Breathe into that. Breathe in gratitude for getting those long, deep stretches. Breathe in the positive feelings that you feel when you really get those good stretches. Breathe in gratitude for your body for doing this. And then place both hands on either side of the right foot. Lower your back knee. Untuck your toe. Lift your arms on an inhale. You can use those blocks again if you want to bring your blocks up and have them just behind your front leg, in between your knee and your front leg. You find your level of comfort. And exhale, extending the front leg. Heel stays on the ground, toes come up. So on this stretch, again, you might want to use this little thumb and press that crease of your right hip back. Draw your heart forward. You can use your fingertips to pull the mat back. Pull your heart forward just like we did in Sphinx. Inhale, coming forward. Front hip flexor. Rolling your shoulders back. Maybe your arms come up. Maybe they go to your blocks. Exhale, extending your front leg. Drawing your heart forward and your right hip back. Go through that 2 more times. Inhale. Reach forward, lift your heart. Exhale, extend your leg. Reaching the heart forward. Una más. And then coming back into your low lunge, hands framing your feet. Inhaling all the way up to the side of your mat. folding forward. Now this time I want you to do a different hand placement. So if your hands went onto your blocks before, then grab your ankles perhaps this time. Or hands walk underneath your body to the back side of your mat. Just try something different. Explore your options and breathe. Breathe and let yourself be present and be here. Notice if your mind is wandering anywhere. Notice if your to-do list is starting to play in your head. And just tell yourself it can wait. And just be present in your body in this moment. Present with gratitude for wherever you are at this moment. All right, inhaling it all the way up. And we're going into a triangle on the front of the mat again. Let's go through this one more time. Rotating, inhale. Exhale, reverse your triangle. Inhale, revolved crescent or dragonfly twist. Lowering your knee on an exhale. Inhale, sweeping it up, stretching the front. Exhale, extending the front leg. Move through that 2 more times on your own, with your own breath. Inhale. And then meet me at a low lunge, coming to the side of your mat. Now, you have some options. You can go straight into a forward fold just like we've done before, or if you want to do a headstand, you can do a headstand here and just get a little inversion out of this. It's up to you. I leave it up to you. Take 3 breaths no matter what you're doing here. Don't rush it. When you're ready, coming all the way up into that wide-legged stance, opening your right toes to the back of your mat, moving into that triangle pose, rotating those ribs. Exhale, reverse your triangle. Inhale, dragonfly twist all the way around. I love those big windmill arms. It feels really good to get that in. Exhale, lower your knee. Inhale, draw up your heart. Exhale, pull your hips back. Pull your heart through. 2 more times with your breath. Then meet me in a low lunge. Pressing into the ground, coming up to that wide-legged stance. Now, we're going to wiggle our feet in just a little bit, but keep them a little bit wide, toes turning out. We're coming down into a yogi squat, malasana. So, palms press into each other, elbows press into the inside of your knees, heart lifts. Now, if you want to use a block or a blanket, you're welcome to put that right there under your sit bones and give yourself a little support. You can put 2 blocks there if you want to. Feeling the external sides of your hips get a little stretch with a gentle press of your elbows to the inside of your knees. Now, if you have anything underneath your sit bones, go ahead and take that out. Put your hands behind your hips, lowering yourself down to the ground. Go ahead and let's keep your right leg bent, extend your left leg. Take your left arm, put it around your right ankle. Reach your right arm out, up, and over. Now be kind with yourself, because quite often when we move into this pose, especially, at least I'm speaking from my own space, my side-to-side difference is massive. And that's kind of how it goes for everybody. Everybody has a strong side and a flexible side. A more flexible side. I shouldn't say flexible. You are who you are. But you'll notice a side-to-side difference is the point. Let's approach that with non-judgment. So we're reaching all the way over towards our toes. You might just be reaching for the sky, and that's cool. If you do happen to reach your foot, grab the outside of your foot and rotate your heart open. Rotate those top right ribs open. And inhale, come up. we're just going to switch sides. So bending your left leg, extending your right, taking your right hand onto your left ankle, reaching our left arm out and over. If you would like to, you can put a strap around that foot if you've got it, and you can use that to start to creep your arm closer to your foot, to start to wiggle that arm a little closer. It's up to you. Big inhale, both legs extended. So you can bring a block in front of you now. We're in a wide leg seated straddle. We're gonna find some ease and peace in this. So here's what I want to say first. Toes and knees will face the ceiling at all times. If at any point they start to roll in, come out of the stretch. I want your hips rotating out and away from you the whole time. So if they start to roll in, come back out of it until these can face the sky. All right? So check in with that. Find a space where you can take a moment and find some ease, where perhaps you can let go. You can relax your feet. And then breathe here. And notice as you breathe and your brain sends signals to your body to let go, you'll actually be able to sink maybe just a teeny bit further into this stretch. And each time you come back to this, that'll be the case. You'll be able to sink just a teeny bit further. Your brain is sending a message to your body that it's okay. You don't have to hold on to this tension anymore. And then as your body experiences letting go of some of that tension, it learns to trust, and it learns that it's safe, and it learns that it's stronger. You learn, and your body learns that it's stronger than you thought. Capable of so much more than you thought. Take one more big deep breath here. Exhale, one last opportunity to let go. And then start to walk your hands up. Let's take both legs to the front of your mat, extending out front and long. Same thing that we just did. This time our legs are in front of us. You may want to put a block in between your thighs, in between your knees, in between your shins, or maybe even a blanket underneath your belly, between your thighs, and find some comfort as you start to fold forward. Let your palms just rest. Fingers curled as though you're in Shavasana, right? They're just relaxed. They're not doing anything. And your head and the weight of your upper body is just sinking over your thighs. Do whatever you need. Check it out. You can you can stack it all up. And then you'll notice, the same as when you're in the wide leg fold, each time you exhale, you have this opportunity, right? You have this opportunity to let go. When we let go, we can actually move farther into the pose. When we let go of tension, we're capable of so much more. Just like life. Take 2 more really good, juicy, deep breaths here. Give your body all that oxygen. And then start to remove all your props. Go ahead and get your strap or your belt or your towel. Put it next to you. And we're going to lower ourselves onto our back. Oh. All right. Our legs are bent. Let's start with our left leg. Let's start with our take the strap, and you're going to put it around the arch of your foot. Wherever that may be. Your leg can be even a little bit bent, but I want this right hip rooted into the ground. So if you're reaching up like this, go ahead and root that hip down, and if it needs to come down, it needs to come down. It doesn't matter to me the placement, feeling a stretch along. We're in the right place. All right. You can keep this left leg bent, or if you want, you can extend it. And then start to walk your hands up the strap. If you don't need the strap, you can grab your toe with your peace fingers. You can I would love for your shoulders, your shoulder blades to be rooted on the ground as well. So if you find yourself in kind of a sit-up position, like you're up here, we don't have as much ease and peace feeling where we're putting all this effort. Right now, today, what we're focusing on is just a stretch. So let's let everything else settle. So that might mean using a strap. We can still feel the stretch, yes. Put your hand on your your left hip bone and let your right leg start to draw out to the side. The floor. And then just let gravity work as you breathe. Stay with your breath. Stay with your body and your muscles in this moment. Give yourself that gift of letting all the other things go. They'll be there for you when you're done. This is for you. This is your time. And that is so valuable. Our time is incredibly valuable. Let's make sure we are with ourselves in this moment. That we are present for this moment and this experience. Inhale, bringing the right leg back up, releasing the strap, bending the right knee, planting the right foot on the ground. We're switching sides. Left leg comes up. Strap around. And breathe. Breathe into the back of that thigh. Find that stretch in that hamstring. See if there's any place you can feel in your body where you in your glute, in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your toes gripping. Sometimes it finds a way in when you're stretching. I tend to transfer my tension somewhere else in my body, and I find myself squeezing where I don't need to be squeezing. See if you can let go of those spaces. See if you can search them out, find them, and let them go. Okay, now drop your blade down. Let's place the hand on the right hip so the right hip's nice and stable and rooted into the ground. We don't want to roll away with inside of our thigh now. Towards your head if you want. Inhale, bringing our foot back up into the sky, releasing the strap, bending our knees. Flex your feet. Drop your knees to the side. And then drop them to the other side. Do that a couple. Let them just rock back and forth. Good. Now extend your legs long. And reach your arms up above your head and roll over onto your belly. It's pretty simple. All right, if you have a blanket, you may want it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my blanket to a long fold like that. So it's going to go off my mat like a T. You are welcome to just put your towel. We're just going to do one side at a time. We're moving into half frog pose, which is a nice hip stretch. So we can do one side at a time if you'd like. This is just going to cover both sides for when I get there. All right, so it's going to go just under my hips. I have a knot in my shirt I'm going to undo. That didn't feel good. All right, so this is where we are. And you can have your pillow, anything you want on this side. We're going to draw our knee, up to be even with our hip. We're making more 90-degree angles, and then our ankle comes right off of our knee, just like that. Now, you may want to add a little extra here. Let's do it this way. For that hip space, and you're welcome to do that as well. Whatever you need, find that comfort, and then let that hip just be open. Put one palm on top of the other palm and rest your forehead on your palms. You also have the option to do both hips at the same time. If you have a bolster and you want to lie down on your bolster, You're welcome to do that. If you've got one hip up, you can stay there. Or you can take your blanket and make like a little mini bolster and lay there and put your hips on that, and you can do both hips at the same time. If you've got one leg out, it is time to switch. So extend that leg behind you and draw the other knee up and out to the side. And then lower your forehead down. Just like in any of our stretching poses, any of our forward fold, our wide leg straddle, we want to let gravity do the work. And our job is just to search through our body and see where we might be holding on to tension, gripping. Where can we let go? When we let go, we can move further into the pose, and then we can enjoy that just that much more. And it feels that much better in our body when we can come out of it and realize that we are capable of more than we thought. All right, extending both legs back long behind you. If you have a prop underneath you, you can remove it. Press up to your hands and knees. Back into not downward facing dog. Child's pose. You can have your knees together or you can have your knees apart. Forehead on the ground. Arms reaching long or cactus arms. Or you can have your hands all the way back by your feet. Whatever feels good. Just take that time to just be. Feel your breath on your thighs. Feel your heartbeat. Reflect on that gratitude for your body. Right? This stretching practice is all just to feel good and feel grateful for our bodies and treat it right and take breaks when we need to take a break and stretch our muscles when we need to stretch our muscles. It's hard to sometimes listen to those cues, right? I have a tendency to prioritize all these other things, and really taking care of my body is taking care of my health. And when I take care of my health as a parent, I'm doing something for my children as well as myself, which doubles up on my need to do this and my gratitude for being able to do this. All right, coming out of your child's pose and then setting yourself up for Shavasana. So we're just going to get comfy. So you can make yourself a pillow. You can put a little blanket or something underneath your knees. And then let yourself lie down on your back, legs extended, arms at your side. There's nothing left to do other than just be you in this moment and allow the positive feelings to grow and build within your body for what you've done. I say this all the time, but when we take a moment to do something for ourselves, although we have maybe been conditioned to feel like that is selfish, really it helps everyone that we come in contact with. It is such a benefit to everybody. So if you are a parent or a partner to somebody, this is not selfish. It is so good for you. And yes, it's okay to be selfish, but it also benefits everyone you come in contact with. It's like a domino effect of love and gratitude and positivity. And really, what's better than that? Treat yourself well, so then you treat others well. When we treat ourselves well and we bring ourselves love and compassion and happiness and joy and gratitude and all those wonderful things, they do spill over into other people, even just by leading by example. So when people think, I don't have time to do this, or I have to do these other things for these other people first, I always say, this has a benefit for everybody. This is not, you're bigger than that. You impact other people with everything that you do, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. So when we take care of ourselves, we get to spread the love. I'll let you be. Get off my soapbox. start to deepen your inhales and your exhales, bringing yourself back into your body in that gratitude, and maybe wiggling fingers and toes and wrists and ankles and starting to find some movement. And take a big inhale and sigh it out your mouth. Give yourself a big full body stretch, whatever that means to you, reaching your arms away from your feet, your fingers away from your toes, and then curling up into a ball, hugging your knees into your chest. Big squeeze, hug to yourself, rolling over onto your side, making a pillow out of your arm, allowing your eyes to stay closed in the reflection and gratitude inside of your body for your movement and the time that you spend doing something for yourself. Press your hands into the ground, bring yourself up to a seated pose, bring your hands flat onto your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Take a moment to think of those people in your life that you love so much, that you wish the best for. And remember that they think that about you too. They can't do what they do without you at your best. This is how you provide your best. You are as important to those people as they are to you. And you are as important to the world as the world is to you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Open your eyes, take in the world around you. I hope that you take something from that you experienced on your mat today out into the world to make your life just at least that much better. I wish you the best. Peace out.